told you this question. I explained to you how to do this. I just quickly want you to write the following down. When we do cash budget is always about cash, meaning cash that I receive and cash that I pay. This is transactions that you can put in the CRJ and the CPJ. It influences the bank, and it doesn't matter the time frame. It's all just about if I pay it in this year, it influences my cash budget. If I'm going to receive it in this year, it influences my cash budget. It doesn't matter that I receive it because people owe me for last year or I prepaid for next year. That doesn't matter. It's just the cash. The projected income statement, however, that didn't look good. The projected income statement, however, is about, so the cash budget can be B accounts and it can be N accounts. Any account, but it must be cash. That's why bad debts won't go in there. Cost of sales won't go in there. Right. But the projected income statement, we only work nominal. And we work only the current financial year. Okay. So now when I look at this, let me just get the answer sheet ready. They gave it to me like this. So let's look at the example. The example is there to help you. So please work through the example. They're asking me to do this for December. This is for December, ne? Okay. So, monthly insurance premium for December will be paid. So, if I look at it, it's cash, ne? So it's definitely a payment. But it's also expense for the current year. So it's a income statement. Is everybody sharp? Okay, what don't we get? So the payment is, remember now, if I pay, go to your AOL, in your head, what is it if I pay insurance? It's insurance and bank. Ne? Bank is cash. So it's either a receipt or a payment. Did I get money or did I pay money? I paid, so that's why it's a payment. Right? Insurance is an expense. So I showed in the expense. Yes.
So if they say that, like let's say the insurance thing doesn't happen every month, or it happens the month prior, you don't add it to the projected.
Yes. If they say the insurance is, they want you to budget for December, and they say the insurance is paid in December for January, then it will only be a payment because you're not budgeting for January's expenses. Does that make sense? Okay. Expected cash sales. Now, when I have cash sales, I know what do I have? Bank, sales, cost of sales, trading stock. So bank will be influenced with the sales price, right? Sales will be influenced with the sales price. Cost of sales with the cost price. Bank is cash. Sales and cost of sales is income and expense. So when I go here, I can see I'm going to receive the 132,000. And the 132,000 is also an income. But I'm also having an expense called my cost of sales. You shall. Number 2, drawings by the owner. So drawings in itself, that account is not going to go anywhere because it's not a nominal, so it's not an income expense. Now it's going to depend on, is the drawings cash? Then it's a payment. Is the drawings goods? Then it's nothing. Is the drawings stationary? Then it's an expense. Can you see how it works? So here I go. Drawings by the owner budgeted for December. This includes 34,000 cash and the remainder for stock. So I'm only going to show the 34. Drawings is not a nominal. Ne? Remember your cash budget, I showed cash, B and N. Okay, so I showed the cash. The projected income statement, I just show nominal accounts. So drawings is not nominal. So it doesn't influence my income statement. This isn't stuff. So your cash budget is stuff that will go into your bank, and your projected income statement is something that will go in your income statement. Can you see the difference? Apparently in the notes that I gave you guys, the last question is also something like this. So just keep watching my grade 11 videos, because I literally post every lesson at this stage so that you can revise budgets for grade 11. And the notes that I gave you is actually the same notes I gave you last year, so you already got all the answers. Okay. A fixed deposit. What is a fixed deposit? It's a balance sheet. Nee. Will mature. Can you see there's cash? So the fixed deposit will mature. I'm getting 245. Receipt. Show. A direct deposit of 264,600 includes the interest. What is the interest? Say again. 19,600. So now they say it will be made in the current banking blah 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 blah. So since there isn't two lines, I would put there also 19,600 like this, and then 19,600 here. Or you can add them together and show the 264 together. What? Oh, it's not an expense, it's an income. It's just so weird for me that they put income debit. Yes. I just showed them separate. That's all. So if you showed them together, that's actually how they wanted you to. But if I show it separate, you're still going to get your full marks. Okay. You sure? Yes. Okay, so if the interest was capitalized, I would not show the 19,600 as a receipt, because I didn't receive it yet. Okay? And I would still show the income. That's one scenario. But this current scenario, if it was capitalized, I would still get it. Why? Because the fixed deposit matures. So all the interest is coming to me anyway. So it depends when it matures. So if it was a transaction where they said interest capitalized was so much, and it's all, then it would only be a income. Wouldn't be a receipt. Yeah.
Why in the projected income statement I only showing the interest as an income?
What else do you want to show?
Oh.
You get it? Because when the fixed deposit matures, what's the two T's? Bank, fixed deposit. Both of them are balance sheet accounts. This is only nominal. Okay. This is only cash. Can you see how they separate? Cash, nominal. Okay. Can I continue?
Yeah. So if it was, the interest was not capitalized, you're not going to add the interest by the cash budget?
I would. Let's quickly go through capitalizing. So if I look at my fixed deposit, here's my fixed deposit, here's my interest on fixed deposit. Okay, so let's say the fixed deposit is 10,000 and my interest is 1,000. If it is not capitalized, it means I'm going to receive the 1,000 and it's going to go to bank. So, how will this look? So, in other words, I have a receipt and an income. You get me? If it is capitalized, I would put it in fixed deposit, not in bank. So now, still an income, but not a receipt, because I am now investing it with my fixed deposit. So now my fixed deposit is 11. What will happen if the fixed deposit matures? Then I will show both the 11 as a receipt and the 1 as an income. Okay, so the next question, they say the information relates to the budget period ending 31st December. So you will see what your budget has got 2 sections. The first section is a lot of calculations. The second one is comments. So now let's see. Required, do the creditor's payment. Calculate the credit purchases for November. Now let's quickly think. What is everything I know about purchases? I know total purchases is cash and credit. I also know total purchases is equal to cost of sales. So now let's go look. What is the info they give me? So the info they give me, they say goods are sold at a markup of 25% on cost. Ne? Trading stock on hand is maintained, so they're saying purchases equal to cost of sales. They only buy on credit. And then they say 75% is paid in the month after the date of purchase, and they get a 3% discount. The balance, in other words 25%, how do I get 25%? 100 minus 75 is paid in the month after. So if I use my code, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3. Can you see 75% is paid in month 1 and 25 in month 2. Right. So now what info did they give me? So if I look at the info they gave me, can you see they give me sales. And because they gave me sales, I can calculate, is there sales here? Cash sales. There's no collection of debtors. Is there any calculation for collection of debtors? 60% of total sales is cash sales. Okay. So now I can go look. I know they want me to calculate for December. So I want to calculate the purchases for November. So I'm going to use the sales for November. So let's look. This is a long calculation. I take November's sales. Is everybody with me? I take the sales for November, 103. Now I want to work it to 100%. So they tell me 60% is cash. Ne? Can you see UK? Everybody shop with that. So now I want to calculate cost of sales. Please don't do it, get an answer, take the answer, calculate. It takes too much time. Because it's times, you can do everything all at once. So now let's see. They say my markup is 25. So if I say 100 over 125, I get my cost of sales. Ne? They tell me I am paying in the first month. What do they want me to calculate? The credit purchases for November. There it is. So it will be that. Am I right? How much is that? Okay, and they literally mark it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they ask me to do a schedule. Okay, so if I do the schedule, first of all, they already gave me the credit purchases, but do you agree with me that I now calculated the credit purchase for November? So I'm going to transfer that here. Okay. Now I say, remember 0, sure. 0 is the month of the transaction. So September is 0. October will be 1. November 2. Can you see we will not pay anything in December regarding to the purchases in September. Right. Okay. October is 0. November is 1. December is 2. So I'm going to pay 25% here. So I say 132,800 times 25%, and that gives me, I remember that this was homework.
36188.
Okay. Now November is 0. December is 1. You guys with me? 33,200. Say again. Just check why you had it wrong. Okay. Now, that 1376, please, I want to ask you this. Because this is coming from a calculation, this year is going to be principal marks, right? So you need to show how you got it. Because you literally, the people marking literally have to sit with a calculator and calculate if that is it. So all you do is you say that 137, I need to times it with 75%, and then I need to times it with 97%. You just write that in there. Then you got your 2 principal marks. Okay? Even if you had that wrong. Okay. 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 Check us. So, what is December? No copies, nothing. Just taking it in. What is December? No, but you guys said that that one is wrong.
But you wrote it down next to the 83,200.
Is that the November that goes here?
Oh, I think about that one.
Oh, my goodness, the stress level of the teacher is going through the roof.
100.
100. Okay, and then I total. Okay, next one. Guys, 2 things. Don't leave totals alone. Unless it's grade. If they color in the block, it means don't fill it in, I'm not marking it. Then don't waste your time. But if it's normal white open, you add, because then you know you got a principal mark. The only time you won't get the principal mark is if you put something in December. Okay, now let's move on. Next. So what they do now, and this is how they ask it in grade 12, they gave you a cash budget. And now they give you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see? Okay. So now we're going to calculate each one of that. So all of this is calculations, and it's always the same type of calculation. So I need you to understand the calculation and apply it everywhere. Okay, so let's see. Rent expense for December. They say rent expense The business rents premises in a shopping center. Rent will increase 6% in December. So that means if I take the rent, 29, it's going to increase with 6%, so I add 6 to 100. And that gives me, say again. Okay. Next one. This one I want you to highlight. A part of the loan will be paid back. Interest is 14%. Interest is not capitalized. Ne? They asked me to calculate the interest on loan for December. Okay. Interest on loan, let's go look. My loan repayment is 60,000. Now, can you see this thing counts quite a few marks, ne? And can you see they give me the interest for November and the repayment. When was the repayment made? During December. So I'm still going to pay interest in December, ne? Okay. Huh? Not. Oh, okay. But they don't tell me what my loan is. Is there anywhere they tell me what my loan is? Nowhere. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take this information. I'm going to calculate what my loan was before they paid 60,000 off. Then I'm going to subtract the 60 and calculate my interest. So the easy way is I say the loan is X times 14% for 1 month gives me interest of 3.5. In other words, my loan is going to be the 3.5 times 100 over 14 times 12 over 1. So what is my loan? 300,000. And from the 300,000, we paid back 60,000. So my loan is 240. And now I times 14%, 1 month. To 800. Okay, you use the same thing here if they will give you here the 2 months interest, but not the 60. Right? Let's say they tell you the 2.8 there, ne? But they don't tell you the 60, and now they ask you, calculate how much of the loan was paid back. Then I would do exactly the same thing, but I would make my interest the difference between the 3.5 and the 2.8. So I would say X times 14% for 1 month equals 700 rand. And that will give you 60,000. You guys with me?
Yes.
Must I show you? Okay. So I would then just literally say, if I want to calculate, I would say X times 14 over 100, 1 over 12 equals the 3.5 less the 2.8. You see? And then in the end you will calculate that to be 60,000. Sharp. They actually like that question a lot, and they can also do it with fixed deposits. How much of the fixed deposit matured? How much extra did I invest? Take the difference of the interest. Okay. Next one. Deposit to be paid 30 November for new computers installed. So they say, new computers will be installed and will be operational for 30 November. 20% cash deposit must be paid on 30 November. The balance will be repaid over 36 equal installments. So, do they give me anything here? They give me the installments. Can you see? So when does the installment start? From December. So I know I've got 9,800 as an installment. How many installments am I going to pay? 36, ne? Where do they say? 36. So if I times it with 36, I get what it was before the deposit. How much is that?
352,800.
That 352,800 UK. I want the deposit of 20%, ne? And at this stage I have the remaining part of 80%. Okay, can you see if you like calculations? Budgets is your food. And this gives me what? Okay, number 4. They ask me insurance for December. So now, the current monthly insurance on the existing computers is 4.5. This monthly premium will increase by 28%. So now you know. You take the 4.5 times 100 plus the 28 over 100. So what's the new premium?
5,760.
Okay. Salaries for November. So they say the business has 9 employees who earn the same monthly salary. 5 will receive a bonus of 70% of the normal monthly salary during December. What do I need to calculate? November. So I am reversing now. You see that? So if I look here, how did I do this one? So here's the salary. So that 143,750. If you agree with me, it is 2 workers that gets X, but it is 7 workers who gets 1.7X. Is that right?
Where did you get the 2 workers?
There is 9 workers. Oh, 5. So it's 4, ne? And this is 5. 5 workers gets 1.7X. Is that right?
Just for insurance, according to the new one, we need to add the amount from the plan.
Of course. Why? Why do I need to add the 4.5? Anybody? Why do I need to add the 4.5? So in other words, I added last month's insurance. Why? I didn't sell those equipment. So this is the new insurance for the new stuff. If you read here, they say the monthly premium. No, but this doesn't make sense. So I'm reading it wrong, because I'm reading it that the premium is going to increase with 28 to include the new computers. They are reading it will increase by 28% to get additional insurance, and then you have to add it to the previous ones.
So what they did, they took the 70 January to November, and they minus the 4,500, and they added that answer, which is 13,000. They added it to the amount that we calculated.
Okay, let's quickly go look. Number, what is this? There. So, oh, okay, so what they did, we got the 5760. So we would only get one mark. Okay, so what they did, where did they get that 17.5? Let me just see, here's insurance, 17.5. If I go look here, you'll see insurance is 17.5, né? And now they get additional, and so what they say is that this, so this is also wrong, that 4.5 less, so they took the 5,760 less the 4.5, and they say, oh, it's going to cost extra 1,260. You see? And then they added the 1,260 to this 17.5. Does that make sense to you? So in other words, that 17,500 is not just for computers. It's for everything. It can be insurance on the building, it can be insurance on the cars, insurance on machinery, né? So now if I read here, they say the current monthly insurance for the existing computers is 4.5. And that 4.5 is most now included in the 17.5, right? Now they say it's going to be 28% more to cover the extra insurance. So what I did is I calculated it's now going to be for computers 576. But I only need to pay 1,260 extra. You get that? You guys with me? You guys with me? Okay. So that 1,260 I need to add to the insurance I already pay. So what you can basically say is that 17.5, if I subtract the computers, the old computers, and I add, what was it? 5,760, the new computers. So this is the old premium, and this is the new premium. Does that make sense? Can I ask, if I just said 4,005 times 28%, does it also give me 1,260? Okay? So you could have done it like that. And then just add the 1,260 to the 17.5. You guys with me? Okay. Let's just quickly go there. You see? That one. Makes more sense. Can you see what they did with the OR? They subtracted the 4.5. That's exactly what I just showed you. They subtracted the 4.5. Ne? That's how they got the 13. And they added the 5,760. Can I ask,